good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to Kids Community Connections. I'm Phyllis Jones, your host. And you know what? I'm happy today because it's cold outside. It's not cold enough yet, I want some sleep so I can feel at home. A little snow. Not Texas snow because y'all don't know what real snow is. Y'all got the little fake stuff. I want some snow where I can throw it at people I don't know. And y'all heard me right. The people I don't know. I don't want to throw snowballs at people I know they're no fun. Just the people I don't know, they're more fun. Like police officers and stuff like that. It's catch them off guard. They can't charge me with anything because it's not illegal to throw a snowball. My host, my guests are looking at me like, she is crazy. What, a snowball? Yeah, I never read it. I never read that.
I would need to watch it as I was walking up here because I know where she was gonna pop out of us.
Okay, and before my three lovely guests, is something that I always have a soapbox, but this month is Human Trafficking Month. And I know it's a topic that you don't want to hear about, but too bad. We need to start talking about things we don't want to hear about, because not talking about them, they don't go away. They get bigger and they get, I'll say, stronger. And we've allowed sex trafficking, especially youth sex trafficking, we've allowed it to grow. And we have. Don't say you didn't, because if you don't know about it, you helped it grow. And our ignorance to it has allowed it to flourish, because Houston, of all things, is the #1 city in the United States for human sex trafficking of kids from 9 to 23, boys and girls. Bell County, we're part of the triangle, the I-10 triangle. We're part of that triangle. And has it hit our area? Of course it has. You just don't know about it, because the papers don't print it and the news really don't talk about it. And you know whose fault that is? It's ours again. Yeah. And in our community, does it happen? Yes. Your middle income kids don't get trafficked as much as your I'll say the little rich kid and the little poor child. They get taken more because it's easier for them to get away and move on. Some of the kids are in school. They go to school every day and they're trafficked on the weekend. We don't know the barcodes that they have on them, the tattoos that we have on them. We don't know to ask them where those tattoos come from, because we don't know. And once again, it's our fault. So throughout this month, you will hear me. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to do a training for everyone to come. If you don't come, that means you don't care about the issue. And I'm saying that, debate me if you want, but if you don't show up, that means you don't care. So we need to take care of our kids. Yes, in education-wise, but they can't get education if they're being sold. And you ought to know, too, that sex trafficking makes more money than drug trafficking, because I can only sell a drug one time. I can sell a child as many as I want to. I know that's harsh to hear, but it's the truth, and that's what goes on. So in order for us to stop it, we got to talk about it. Maybe we got to be aware and not afraid to ask a child. If you're too afraid to ask a child a question, to me, you need to go away, sit in the woods out there in the middle, and just sit down. Just sit there, because that's what you're ready for. So that's my soapbox right now, and it's going to be my soapbox for the entire month of January, and until you stand up and stop it. So I'm blaming us for continuing the way it is. So if you want to challenge me, then get the information. That's the only way to win with that challenge of me. So that's my soapbox. And my three guests like, whoa.
For me, it's something that, when I think of sex trafficking, or when I'm listening to it, I'm thinking more or less of prostitution, but I'm not knowing about the children aspect of it. So for me to have an opinion the way on it, I'm definitely monitoring that in my mind to look into that, because I always thought of that as prostitution.
They're taking children from 9 to 23. The youngest one in Bell County was 9 months old.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. And when the buyer takes the child, you heard me, he's called the buyer, he or she, they tattoo that child so that you know who they belong to. So when those kids have a barcode on them or the little tattoos on them, you might say that's a strange tattoo, but did you ask the kid why? No. Did we ask the kid, what you got a tattoo for at your age? Did we ask? No. We judge. We say, I don't know why your parents let you get that tattoo. Wrong question. We just accused them of something we didn't ask.
Wow.
So we're going to do a training so we can stop being accusatory.
Yeah, go ahead and add me on that Facebook reminder and contact me.
We need to do that. But also in our community, which is the topic we're going to talk about, Killeen is a melting pot. Actually, Central Texas is a melting pot. And due to having a melting pot, you bring with you where you're from. Mm-hmm. People say you don't, but you do. Wherever you're from, you bring that with you. If it's negativity from where you're from, you bring that with you. Whatever it is, you bring it with you, and you have to, because that's your survival skills. Wherever you're from is your baseline survival skills. Be it good or bad, they're yours. And people say you can change, not where you came from. I might be able to change a little bit, but my basic instinct is where I'm from. So with that, a lot of people have brought their issues with them. And you have more wannabe gang members than you have gang members. Then the wannabes are worse than the ones that are, because the wannabes got to go around proving something stupid.
Got a point to prove.
So they're more damaging. But anyway, so some young people in our area have decided to come together and say no. So this summer there was a Stop the Violence campaign. And there was a Squash the Beef hotline introduced. And with Squash the Beef, there's going to be Peacekeepers movement. So the three young men here are going to talk about why we need to have it, what's going on that you don't see, and why you need to join in. So I have three guests. They're three young men, and they're going to introduce themselves, and then we're going to start talking. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Mike Williams. I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I've been in Killeen about 4 or 5 years, off and on. And Stop the Violence for me with my brother Darryl, Leonard, and my man Chicago, Darryl, everybody knows us. It's just the problem with what they got going on today is everybody's turning a blind eye. Like you said, the so-called gangsters, the so-called wannabes, they're nothing compared to the real gangsters who actually go to work and take care of their family. And that's the part of the thing in Killeen that nobody sees. You could to see somebody flagging, but you don't know where they came from, what they've done, what they've been through. That's probably the defense mechanism, like you said, and it's very hard for us to break that stigmatism in our culture, not just as in black people, white people, just all people, because everybody gangbangs now.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Chicago's my name. 25 years old. Come from the city of Chicago. I lived in Killeen 4 years now, going on 5. The biggest problem I see in the Central Texas area is people having to prove themselves, on a street level. When, in my opinion, being from Chicago and hanging out with brothers from Atlantic City and Georgia, right? A country boy, you know what I'm saying? Hanging out with, brothers from, places where having to prove yourself on a day-to-day basis is real. When in all actuality, Killeen is not like that. It's so not like that. Where this is a place where you can actually be yourself. But because of what's publicized on today's TVs and gang banging and the sale of drugs and everything is supposed to be the cool thing, that's what everybody is clinging to, and they're not understanding the repercussions behind it, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the most perfect person and that I wasn't a problem to this, but I see now at the age of 25 and having a 2-year-old daughter that I have to raise here in this city, I see that the problem is getting out of hand and it has to stop. And, as sure as I was a part of the problem, I could be a part of the solution. And that's why I stuck my hand to this and got with brother Darryl and trying to take this into the right aspect and avenues. But yeah, this is Chicago.
Hi, Darryl.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Of course, I'm Darryl. The city of Killeen probably know me by different names: Spoon, Cartier, Danye. Yeah. I've been in Killeen for about 12 to probably 13 years. And it's funny, your panel, how we talk about gangs and drugs and things like that. You have these two gentlemen here doing their thing from a side of a gang life that they have perspective of, and me doing my thing in the city as a small time drug dealer. My interaction with the city has been, of course, a lot of growth and development for me to see a lot of the people who are here now that have friends and have family members who've died that aren't here today. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because right. I've been here. I went to high school with some of these people, so I've seen them grow. I've seen one of the latest guys that got murdered this summer, Skip. I went to high school with him and his little brother when his little brother got murdered. Wow. So to go 10 years, 11 years from that time for him to also follow that same fate, you know what I'm saying, like that, those type of things, and then I have my children just like them. Mm-hmm. I see my children, I say, well, man, my son is gonna go to school with his daughter, and if he acting like this, ain't no telling where he telling her at the house. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what she allowed to see. So I put a post up yesterday on Facebook when I posted the Squash the Beef hotline, and I said that the things that we're talking about today, 5, 10, 15 years from now, y'all are gonna be hurt by it, and you're gonna be like, I should have said something, or what were we doing 5 and 10, 15 years ago when these things were actually happening and we was losing these people. You know, so my thing is to just be that glitch, because first off, being young and black, nobody ever expected that we would be able to speak and draw into the emotions that we have now while we're active. So it wasn't even calculated for us three to be in here at this time, at this level of consciousness to do the things that we doing. So because I recognize the time that we in, I'm just driving.
Right. Stand up.
Okay. So what's Squash the Beef all about?
Squash the Beef, of course, it's a proactive initiative to engage anyone who's dealing with any type of conflict. You know, whether that's it's a tool also that can be used in the workplace or at school or just in the streets and things like that. But it's a proactive initiative that we're doing to be able to create an awareness about the things that are going on. Because again, we're in a, can I move this out some? We're in a this is a two-front war to say that the black community has an issue within itself, and then we have a oppressor that's been outside of us as well. You know what I'm saying? In a system that we're going against, that we have to defend ourselves against. So if we're already attacking each other, there's no way that we'll be able to have a camaraderie, you know, to be able to defend ourselves from the outside forces that are coming in and attacking us. You know, and what's going on right now, of course, is like in Chicago, over 700 people got killed within this year. You know, that only makes the police officer get better gear. That makes his weapon get a little bit stronger to pierce through, you know what I'm saying, weapons, and make sure that when he hits, if he misses you, the person behind you definitely gets stuck, you know. And that's what we up against. And I've been able to grow into myself and be able to come and to see the leaders of the past. And modern day, we have a great leader, teacher, and guide in the Minister Farrakhan. And the reality of the things that I've been able to see and grow from in his teachings have given me the enlightenment that though I'm not necessarily a process member of the nation, I understand the concepts of the things that they're doing, and it's things that I know that can be taken forward and moving forward. So the Squash the Beef, Stop the Violence is actually an initiative of the Nation of Islam that was an adopted process that was put together by our brother Willie Muhammad in New Orleans. He initiated that process. The Minister Farrakhan heard about what the brother was doing and said that he wanted to make that the national agenda for the entire Nation of Islam, as well as abroad. So in the 10-10-15 Million Man March, I was blessed to be able to get out there. Man, that was an incredible feeling to be able to be out there. When I was a kid, I heard about it, but no one in my family was conscious enough to be in that. You know, my family was in the streets and things like that. So even in what these brothers said, a lot of people are faking, right? I grew up in the streets. My family was in the streets. So even as I grew, of course, I was innocent to the things that they were doing, but I bore witness to the jail time. I bore witness to the drugs in the house and what that felt like and what was going on. So I'm of course, I don't want to live that life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference when you meet a person who has the things given to them, or their life isn't that bad, but they're choosing to live a life to say that I've lived that life and I don't want nothing to do with it. And a lot of people in this city are choosing to live that type of life rather than accepting the life that they have and doing something positive and better with it.
You know, some people,
I'm sorry,
when you talk about what happens in different areas, instead of when we talk about it, we need to talk about what happened. I'll mention, since you talked about Chicago, Chicago's issues began, and you know, when they tore down Cabrini Green.
Yes.
When they tore down Cabrini Green was a housing complex, but it was a mini city. It was a mini city, and everybody knew what was going on in there. So as long as it contained in there, nobody really cared. Nobody cared because it contained in its own area. Well, let's tear it down now and build some expensive condominiums. So you tore it down and you dispersed people who only knew a life of Cabrini Green. That's all they knew, that life.
Yeah.
So you tore down that housing area, and those thousands and thousands of people scattered.
And we've been conditioned in that area.
So they scattered throughout the city. So now what happened? Well, they're going to take what they were doing there for all their life and for the life of the time that area's been there, and you're going to take it outside.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I'm thinking about what you're saying. I believe it was myself and you. We went to a city council meeting one time, and they're supposed to be building a low-income housing
Correct.
in Killeen. I want to say near Christian House of Prayer.
Behind it, yes.
Man,
over
you
there.
wouldn't believe the people that was in there against building low-income housing. To say that the same exact things that we're talking about, these people who aren't being able to afford a certain type of lifestyle and things like that. You know where Fox Creek is? Yeah. Those are pretty decent. Those are very, but that's actually, but that's low income housing.
Really?
In Fox Creek and Killeen. They're going to build a 2017 low income housing. In that area, but what it's going to do is bring they're saying it's going to bring their property taxes down because you're going to have
those people. They called they called them those people.
Those people.
They were called those people.
Like you people.
Yes.
I was tapping Miss Phyllis like, am I understanding this? Are they saying this? But that's real. That's real. So I can only imagine. What that city must be facing under something like that, you know, because it's its own city. It maintains itself. Everything is organized from within it, and then you knock that down. I think they're doing the same thing out in Austin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They are trying to shut down Austin projects like that.
Yes.
I think that's the first project in America.
Where?
Austin?
No.
Something like that?
No.
Or is that Texas?
No, the northern folks have had those for years.
Okay.
Because you got to think of what a project is. No, a project is just what that word is. It's a project. People place somewhere to contain themselves, to be controlled by the government, to see how they react.
Right.
So they were a scientific government-ran project. So people need to remember that projects. But what I'm saying is people need to realize the projects is a project.
That makes sense.
So it's not. People say, I grew up with a project. I said, but do you realize a project is a project? That's what it means. I said a science project that they gave you in school, same thing. They just use people.
Which is the same thing that we experience. To say that the proactive initiative of Squash the Beef is to break ourselves out of those type of projects and those scientific things that we already know that's against us. 2017, we shouldn't have to guess and think about the things that's already been set out against us, whether that be in drugs, whether that be in gun violence, whether that be in medicine, you know what I'm saying, whether that be in our food. We already know it's certain type of foods that we shouldn't eat that are already generated against us.
GMOs.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So to go into today without giving ourselves those tools that we need to be able to, you know, get ourselves to the next level, and just like these babies, and as far as we go in our education is as far as we're going to be able to show them.
Okay, you know? So now we told everybody what Squash the Beef is going to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Is not going to be, and we know it's going to be the Peacekeepers is what everybody will be called. So Chicago.
Yes, ma'am.
Where do we come? When? Where do we show up at to learn more about this? First action. We show up when and where and what time?
Glendora's Restaurant. I don't know the address. It's off of Gilman Street. 715 West Veterans Memorial Highway. Killeen, Texas. We're going to be there on the 12th. 14th day of January at 12 o'clock p.m. This is actually the plan of action, correct, Darryl? A few of us brothers been getting together the last few months over Killeen. We actually invited the ladies into it, you know, to get an input of what it is we can do. With the help of the student minister, Robert Muhammad, out of Austin, we came together with a plan of action. And on the 14th of January, that plan of action will be put in effect, you know. And we like everybody to be out there. We like everybody's support.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jersey, can anybody come?
Anybody can come.
Everybody and their mama can
It doesn't matter. If you want to be there, be out there to support.
Okay. Now, okay, does this now all three of you are before we go, and we have some young kids to talk to, and
Yeah,
you
we
are
see
going
them out there eager.
and you are going to talk to their parents about what you are going to be doing, right? Yes, of course you are.
Yes, we sure do.
Yes.
The man with the plan.
No. All three of y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
Yes,
go
we
there.
are.
We're not going that route.
Yes, ma'am.
When one to go through, then others follow and be with. That's our problem is we go through by ourselves. We should never do that. When he enters that door to go talk to them, so
Yeah, we're going right behind him.
No. You're going with him.
Can we do shortest to tallest?
No, because see, the behind people, because the people that go behind sometimes do an about face.
Yeah. Well, I ain't worried about neither one of these brothers doing it about
No,
face
because
on me.
I have boots this time. I don't have on my shoes. I have on boots.
Okay. I understand.
We got you.
Okay.
I understand. So we're going to go holler
Yeah,
at you.
yeah. Thank you. I can be Clint Eastwood with a boot.
Can I say something for a second?
You going to? Yeah, I have a question, but go ahead.
Okay, ask your question.
It's for you,
first.
but go ahead. No, go.
No, I'll answer your question. All right, first I want to shout out to On Point Nutrition in Killeen. That's on the corner of W.S. Young and Rancière. Sorry. But I was saying is, the problem I think with our youth, they have no outlet. And
Okay.
if they go there, you can go lift weights, talk to someone. It's like the problem I say in the streets for the most part, they can't talk to I can't talk to my mom, I can't talk to their dad, they can't, so they need somebody they can relate to, somebody who's not judgmental, somebody that's not going to say something wrong to them. Sometimes you need to hear the wrong answer. I'm not saying that's right, but sometimes if you already doing wrong, you might just need some encouragement anyway.
Okay. All right. And that's true. We need to create past that, because if I'm going to tell you to stop violence, I need to give you something to do. My suggestion is give them 100-pound weights, put them in the ring and let them go. But, I said 100-pound weights.
Somebody told me, since he's on that, somebody mentioned to me when they found out, and this is actually something to laugh about, they found out I was actually joining getting involved in the community to stop the violence. And I got a phone call. They said, hey, Chicago, how you out of everybody? You out of everybody is joining the committee to stop the violence. And you cause more violence in the community than anything, And I really have to think about it. I really sat there and thought about it, like, I don't cause all of it, but I'm a part of some of it, But I really have to sit there and think about it, To get something you never had, you must do something you never done, Here I am, I was doing it my way and wasn't getting any results, And here I am joining a group of fearless brothers and sisters, who my way wasn't working, So now let's try another way, And the other way is joining and getting involved into the community, As some people say, I had somebody else tell me that the worst thing that can never known to me is the police knowing who I am, knowing me by name, cause they get, that's Chicago, and they run up, what's up, Chicago, They say that's the worst thing in the world, But in all actuality, right, it could be good and it could be bad, to a certain degree.
How you wield it.
Exactly. But I say all of that to say that, like I said, I'm not a saint, I still have troubles that and obstacles that I'm going through, but I want to make a difference.
But you straight with that though.
And that's our plan.
So you don't hide it.
That's what I'm saying. That's right there what separates you from the rest, and that's the type of thing. That's the type of thing that's gonna separate. Your character to be something that's real, especially in what it is that we doing now. You know what I'm saying? We need solid people. This is about the 10th. This is the overcap of the 10,000 fearless. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to be afraid to, or not afraid to put themselves out on the line to go out there and stop these people from doing the things that they're doing. Yesterday, it was a friend of mine was on Facebook talking about how she was gonna whoop another female. Right? I get on the Facebook post. I tell them, well, listen to this, and I say this to everybody. If you kill somebody, first off, what you're doing on the internet is considered cyberbullying. You know what I'm saying? This is adult bullying, right? So once you guys fight each other or kill each other, this is going to be premeditated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's gonna be a premeditated instance, and most of us, anybody 20, probably 30 and under right now on my Facebook ain't got health insurance or life insurance. So this is gonna be a GoFundMe, and we're gonna have to deal with your children. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what's about to happen. You know, so I put that on the Facebook, and then I put the flyer up there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the comments slow down, and then the rhetoric slow down, and then people start saying, "Y'all shouldn't do that. Y'all shouldn't do that. Y'all shouldn't do that." It changes the environment. I'm not saying we're gonna change the world with Stop the V Squash to Violence. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that we're gonna strike something that's gonna spark something in somebody's mind, that's gonna save their life, and it's gonna save their family and their children. And that's the only thing. We ain't trying to hurt nobody.
Right.
Nothing at all. We just trying to stop ourselves from killing each other. And if that's standing in the place and having the humility that you do, coming from where you at, you know what I'm saying, and doing what you're doing, man, people gotta let that ride. Cause I'm gonna let it ride. Yeah. Especially if you're going to get back out here with me in front of these kids and tell them they need to do the right thing from your experience of what you've been through. Yeah, I'm with it.
But also, I'll say to people, and I'll say my age group and older, we need to, because I don't, you guys know that I don't, I'm not judgmental. I'm not going to, you could come and tell me whatever you did in the past and talk about what you're going to do in the future, and I'm good.
Some old people in the law is.
You know, now he call me old. You heard him call me old. I know what you mean. I know. But I'm saying is, those of us in my age group, we need to stop with the judgmental thing. Because if Chicago told me he was in a gang, I'm like, girl, I need him. I need him because how I talk is not going to necessarily get over. I'll get the attention for a couple of minutes to introduce Chicago, to introduce Darryl, to introduce Jersey. I'll get that minute to introduce you. But then you talk about where you were and where you came from, and you've got them. So I'll say my group, we need to stop being judgmental. We need to be able to deal with and hang with and talk to. I can talk to these young guys, and I know a lot about 3 of them. One, I'm gonna have to get a paddle, and he's going to make me the paddle with the whistle, with the hose in it. He's gonna have to make me one because I'm gonna hit him with it.
Talking about that country boy, right?
The one who opened their mouth just now. Anyway, but what I'm saying is, they know I love them as much as I assume they have respect for me, and it's not something that I work for. It's me. So we need to, when we want to work with young people to do things like this, we need to drop our mentality of judgment.
Definitely.
We need to drop our mentality of, I'm not going to deal with them. And, for me, I'm like, they can teach me as well. I can teach you what I've done, because I'll say what you're doing, I've done already. Marches, I've done it. I did the sit-in when girls weren't allowed to wear pants to school. We walked out of school one day, the whole state at 1 o'clock.
So that's what we had the humility. So that's what we should have the humility to look back at you and see the value of what you've already been through, so we don't stumble when we walk in.
So we did that. So we should be teaching what we did, put it together, because I could tell you what I did then, and you could say, well, this is how we would do the same thing now. So as well as saying you all are in the forefront and we're behind you, that's what our job is. Our job is to be behind you and with you, but behind you to say, like if you're doing something, our job is to go back and say, this is what they're doing, this is why they're doing it, and you need to stay over there and let them finish over there. So we need to all come together is what I'm saying is. So what date again, Chicago?
It's going to be on the 14th day of January at 12 o'clock over there at Glendora's. And they got some good food, too, by the way. But it's going to be over there at Glendora's at 12 o'clock noon p.m.
Okay.
The plan of action is coming into effect at 12 o'clock on the 14th of January at noon, 715 West Veteran Memorial Boulevard, Killeen, Texas, 76542. Everybody be there. Okay. We encourage everybody to come out.
Okay, Jersey, you gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there.
Darryl, you gonna be there?
I'm gonna be there. Hey, and it's gonna be the return of my big brother Tavares, and I'm telling you, that's why. Hey, it's the return of my big brother Tavares. He just got back.
I gotta take
and it's about to get real good, city of Killeen. So if y'all think that we've been strong, you know what I'm saying? I'm like the general. I'm like right behind my big brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna get real good for y'all. I'm telling you. That number to the Squash the Beef hotline, 254-300-6287. Call conflict resolution.
What's the number again?
254-300-6287.
And the point of it is, before you go, Miss Phyllis, the point of this Squash the Beef hotline, you know, I actually like the idea. It's not my idea, but I like what the brothers put together. Because me being a street brother, if I got a problem with another street brother, opposed to going to go grab a pistol, opposed to going to go grab my boys, opposed to going to get into some trouble, I got a number that I can call, and I got some brothers who's willing to, you know, take time out of their day or what they're doing to try to mediate this situation so that it don't get out of hand, so that we don't go to jail or somebody don't end up losing their lives. That's, you brothers and sisters need to take advantage of that. Try it out. You know, you can't knock nothing until you try it.
Police. We have no
police, no popos, no
Get no tips, no hotline, none of that, no rewards.
Yeah, but like I said, you can't knock it until you try it. You know, I don't know how well is it. How well is this Squash the Beef going right now, brother?
Hey, it's going to say that anybody, as soon as you call that joker, we gonna pick up and we gonna be ready to resolve that situation. I don't know how he feel, but you know, one of my first people that I did to come from Chicago. Chicago was my first person. Chicago was the last person to make our 37 that we have nationally in Squash the Beef. He was actually one of them, so he's one of the best testimonies that we could actually have, you know, for what we did.
Okay.
Oh yeah, good.
Well,
Appreciate that.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you three for coming on this morning and educating us and getting us all ready for next Saturday. And I challenge everyone: if you don't come, don't talk to me about it. And that's just it. If you don't come, don't talk to me about it. And also, I am one. If you don't come, don't ask me what happened.
What happened out there?
Don't ask me.
I don't know.
What they do?
I am that one. Don't ask me. Don't sit at home and chill and think you're gonna ask me later. Because everybody who knows me know, I'm not gonna tell you. I might tell you that Bugs Bunny showed up. But everybody come on out. But we're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back and talk to a step dance team.
They out there ready.
Ready.